Imagine a world where marriage customs are so different from what you're used to that they might leave you speechless. In some parts of the world, the rules of love, marriage, and relationships are like nothing you've ever encountered before. In fact, there are places where women are eager to find men, and polygamy isn't just accepted, it's a part of everyday life. Curious to find out where these unique cultural practices exist? Let's dive into the 10 countries where women are eager to find men. And yes, where it's even possible for one man to have multiple wives. Welcome to Globe Discoveries, the channel where we take you on journeys across the globe to explore the most fascinating and sometimes surprising aspects of life in different cultures. In today's video, we're exploring a topic that's bound to intrigue you: the 10 countries where women are eager to find men, and where it's culturally acceptable for men to have multiple wives. This isn't just about polygamy, it's about understanding the cultural, social, and legal frameworks that allow such practices to thrive. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest discoveries. Let's get started. Number 10. Sudan. In Sudan, polygamy is a deeply rooted cultural practice that's been a part of society for centuries. While the idea of having multiple wives might seem unusual to some, in Sudan, it's not only legal but also widely practiced in certain communities. Sudan's cultural and religious backdrop plays a significant role in the prevalence of polygamy. Islam, which is the dominant religion in Sudan, permits men to have up to 4 wives, provided they can treat them equally. This religious sanction, combined with traditional customs, has made polygamy an accepted part of life in many parts of the country. While polygamy is common, it's not without its challenges. Many Sudanese women, particularly in rural areas, accept polygamy as a social norm. However, there is also a growing movement among younger women in urban areas who are pushing back against the practice, advocating for monogamy and gender equality. Did you know that in some Sudanese communities, it's considered a sign of wealth and status for a man to have multiple wives? The more wives a man has, the higher his social standing. Talk about keeping up with the Joneses. Sudan's acceptance of polygamy is deeply intertwined with its religious and cultural values. While it remains a common practice, the conversation around marriage is slowly evolving, especially among younger generations. Number 9. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a country where traditional customs and religious practices play a significant role in daily life, including marriage. Here, polygamy is legally and culturally sanctioned, with Islamic law allowing men to have up to 4 wives. In Saudi Arabia, polygamy is practiced in accordance with Islamic law, which stipulates that a man can marry up to 4 women as long as he treats them all fairly and equally. This practice is more common in rural areas, though it is also seen among wealthy and influential families in urban centers. For many Saudi women, polygamy is a complex issue. While some accept it as part of their religious duty, others view it as an outdated practice. There is an increasing number of women advocating for their rights within marriage, seeking to ensure that they are treated with respect and fairness. In Saudi Arabia, polygamy is not just about having multiple wives, it's also about fulfilling the responsibilities that come with it. The law requires men to provide for each wife equally, which includes separate homes, financial support, and time spent with each wife. Failure to do so can lead to legal consequences. In Saudi Arabia, it's said that managing multiple marriages is like running a company. There's a lot of paperwork, logistics, and management involved. Some men even joke that they need a secretary to keep track of their marital responsibilities. Polygamy in Saudi Arabia is deeply rooted in religious and cultural traditions. While it remains a common practice, there is a growing conversation around women's rights and the future of marriage in the kingdom. Number 8. Nigeria. Nigeria is a diverse country with over 250 ethnic groups, each with its own unique customs and traditions. Polygamy is a widespread practice in many Nigerian communities, particularly in the northern regions, where Islam is the dominant religion. In northern Nigeria, where Islam is prevalent, polygamy is legally permitted and culturally accepted. It's common for men to have multiple wives, especially among the Hausa and Fulani ethnic groups. In other parts of Nigeria, particularly among the Yoruba and Igbo, polygamy is also practiced, though it is less common and often tied to traditional beliefs rather than religion. Nigerian women's views on polygamy vary widely. In some communities, women accept polygamy as part of their cultural heritage, while in others, there is growing resistance to the practice. Urbanization and education are leading more women to question the necessity of polygamy and to advocate for monogamous marriages. Nigeria's legal system is complex, with a mix of civil, customary, and Sharia law. Polygamy is recognized under customary and Sharia law, but not under civil law. This creates a dual system where polygamous marriages are legal in some contexts, but not in others. In some Nigerian communities, it's believed that having multiple wives can bring good fortune and prosperity. There's even a saying that a man with many wives has many blessings, though managing those blessings might be another story. Polygamy in Nigeria is deeply connected to the country's diverse cultural and religious landscape. While it remains a common practice, particularly in the North, changing social norms are leading to more discussions about the role of polygamy in modern Nigerian society. Number 7. United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates is known for its luxurious lifestyle and rapid modernization, but traditional customs still play a significant role in society. Polygamy is legally permitted in the UAE, though it is not as common as it once was. In the UAE, polygamy is allowed under Islamic law, which permits a man to have up to 4 wives. However, the practice is less common in modern times, particularly among younger generations. The high cost of living and the financial burden of maintaining multiple households have made polygamy less appealing to many Emirati men. For women in the UAE, polygamy is a topic of debate. Some women accept it as part of their cultural and religious traditions, while others view it as incompatible with modern life. The increasing emphasis on women's rights and education in the UAE has led to more women advocating for monogamy. Polygamy in the UAE comes with strict legal requirements. A man must be able to provide equally for all of his wives, including separate homes, financial support, and fair treatment. The legal system ensures that women's rights are protected within polygamous marriages. In the UAE, some men joke that having multiple wives is like owning multiple cars. You have to take care of each one equally, or you'll end up in trouble. And just like cars, the maintenance can be quite costly. While polygamy is legally permitted in the UAE, changing social dynamics and economic factors have made it less common. The country's rapid modernization and focus on women's rights are leading to a shift in marriage practices. Number 6. Kenya. Kenya is a country with a rich cultural heritage, and polygamy has been a traditional practice among many of its ethnic groups for centuries. Today, polygamy is still practiced in Kenya, though it has become a topic of debate in modern society. In Kenya, polygamy is common among several ethnic groups, including the Maasai, Kikuyu, and Luo. The practice is often tied to traditional beliefs and customs, where having multiple wives is seen as a sign of wealth and status. In some communities, polygamy is also associated with agricultural practices, where having a large family is beneficial for farming and livestock management. The views of Kenyan women on polygamy are diverse. In some communities, women accept polygamy as part of their cultural identity, while in others, particularly in urban areas, there is growing resistance to the practice. Education and economic independence are leading more women to advocate for monogamy and gender equality. Kenya's legal system recognizes polygamous marriages under customary law, but not under civil law. This creates a dual system where polygamous marriages are legal in certain contexts but not in others. The government has also implemented laws to protect the rights of women in polygamous marriages, ensuring that they receive fair treatment and support. In some Kenyan communities, it's believed that a man with multiple wives is like a lion with a large pride. He's seen as strong and powerful, but also has a lot of responsibilities to manage. Polygamy in Kenya is deeply rooted in the country's cultural traditions. While it remains a common practice in many communities, changing social norms and legal frameworks are leading to more discussions about the future of marriage in Kenya. Number 5. India. India is a country of vast cultural diversity, and its marriage customs reflect this richness. Polygamy is legally permitted among certain religious groups, particularly Muslims, who are governed by their own personal laws. In India, polygamy is allowed for Muslims under Islamic law, which permits a man to have up to 4 wives. However, the practice is relatively rare and is more common in rural areas. Among other religious groups, such as Hindus, Christians, and Sikhs, polygamy is illegal under Indian civil law. For many Muslim women in India, polygamy is a complex issue. While some accept it as part of their religious duty, others view it as an outdated practice. There is a growing movement among Muslim women advocating for monogamy and gender equality, challenging traditional norms. India's legal system is unique in that it allows different religious communities to be governed by their own personal laws. This means that polygamy is legal for Muslims but not for other religious groups. However, there have been increasing calls for a uniform civil code that would apply to all citizens, regardless of religion. In some parts of India, it's believed that having multiple wives can bring good luck and prosperity. There's even a saying that a man with many wives has many blessings, though managing those blessings might be another story. Polygamy in India is a practice that is legally sanctioned for certain religious groups, but is increasingly being questioned by modern society. The country's legal system and cultural diversity create a complex landscape for marriage practices. Number 4. Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim-majority country, and polygamy is legally permitted under Islamic law. However, the practice is less common than one might expect, particularly in urban areas. In Indonesia, polygamy is allowed under Islamic law, which permits a man to have up to 4 wives. However, the practice is subject to strict regulations, and a man must obtain the consent of his existing wife or wives before marrying another. Polygamy is more common in rural areas and among older generations. Indonesian women's views on polygamy are diverse. While some accept it as part of their religious and cultural traditions, others see it as incompatible with modern life. The increasing emphasis on women's rights and education in Indonesia has led to more women advocating for monogamy. Indonesia's legal system requires men who wish to practice polygamy to obtain the consent of their existing wife or wives and to demonstrate that they can provide equally for all of them. This legal framework is designed to protect the rights of women and ensure fairness within polygamous marriages. In Indonesia, some men joke that managing multiple wives is like running multiple businesses. You have to keep everyone happy and well-funded, or risk going out of business. While polygamy is legally permitted in Indonesia, changing social dynamics and legal regulations have made it less common. The country's focus on women's rights and modernization is leading to a shift in marriage practices. Number 3. Yemen. Yemen is a country with a rich cultural heritage, and polygamy has been a traditional practice for centuries. In Yemen, polygamy is legally permitted under Islamic law, and it remains a common practice, particularly in rural areas. In Yemen, polygamy is deeply rooted in Islamic traditions, which allow a man to have up to 4 wives. The practice is more common in rural areas, where traditional customs are more strictly adhered to. In urban areas, polygamy is less common, but still practiced among certain segments of society. For Yemeni women, polygamy is a complex issue. While some women accept it as part of their religious duty, others view it as a practice that limits their rights and freedoms. The ongoing conflict in Yemen has also impacted women's views on marriage, with many advocating for greater gender equality and legal protections. Yemen's legal system recognizes polygamous marriages under Islamic law. However, the country's ongoing conflict and economic challenges have made it increasingly difficult for men to provide equally for multiple wives, leading to growing calls for legal reforms.
In Yemen, there's a saying that a man with many wives must also have many pockets because each wife comes with her own set of expenses.
Polygamy in Yemen is a practice that is deeply connected to the country's cultural and religious traditions. While it remains common, the challenges of modern life and ongoing conflict are leading to more discussions about the future of marriage in Yemen. Number 2. Pakistan. Pakistan is a country where Islamic traditions play a significant role in daily life, including marriage. Polygamy is legally permitted under Islamic law, and while it is less common in urban areas, it remains a practice in certain communities. In Pakistan, polygamy is allowed under Islamic law, which permits a man to have up to 4 wives. The practice is more common in rural areas, where traditional customs are more strictly followed. In urban areas, polygamy is less common, particularly among younger generations who are more influenced by modern values. For Pakistani women, polygamy is a topic of debate. While some women accept it as part of their religious and cultural traditions, others view it as incompatible with modern life. There is a growing movement among women in Pakistan advocating for monogamy and greater gender equality. Pakistan's legal system requires men who wish to practice polygamy to obtain the consent of their existing wife or wives and to demonstrate that they can provide equally for all of them. This legal framework is designed to protect the rights of women and ensure fairness within polygamous marriages. In Pakistan, some men joke that having multiple wives is like being the captain of a ship with multiple sails. You have to navigate carefully to keep everything moving smoothly. While polygamy is legally permitted in Pakistan, changing social dynamics and legal regulations have made it less common, particularly in urban areas. The country's focus on women's rights and modernization is leading to a shift in marriage practices. Number 1. Mali. Topping our list is Mali, a West African country where polygamy is not only legally permitted, but also widely practiced. In Mali, polygamy is deeply rooted in the country's cultural and religious traditions, making it a common practice in many communities. In Mali, polygamy is a traditional practice that is widely accepted and legally recognized. The practice is more common in rural areas, where traditional customs are more strictly followed. Polygamy is often associated with wealth and status, with men who have multiple wives being seen as more prosperous. For Malian women, polygamy is a complex issue. While some women accept it as part of their cultural and religious traditions, others view it as a practice that limits their rights and freedoms. Education and economic independence are leading more women to advocate for monogamy and gender equality. Mali's legal system recognizes polygamous marriages under both customary and civil law. However, the government has implemented laws to protect the rights of women in polygamous marriages, ensuring that they receive fair treatment and support. In Mali, there's a saying that a man with many wives must also have many cows because each wife comes with her own set of needs and expenses. Polygamy in Mali is a practice that is deeply connected to the country's cultural and religious traditions. While it remains common, changing social norms and legal frameworks are leading to more discussions about the future of marriage in Mali. Practical tips for understanding cultural practices. Respect and open-mindedness. When learning about different cultures, it's important to approach the topic with respect and an open mind. Every culture has its own unique customs and traditions, and understanding them requires empathy and curiosity. Educate yourself. Take the time to educate yourself about the history, religion, and social dynamics that shape cultural practices. This will help you gain a deeper understanding of why certain customs exist and how they have evolved over time. Engage with local communities. If you have the opportunity to visit or live in a country with different cultural practices, engage with the local community. Ask questions, attend cultural events, and learn from the people who live there. If you found this video informative and want to learn more about global cultures and practices, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell. Join the Globe Discoveries community for more insights and in-depth analysis on the diverse cultures that make up our world. And there you have it, the 10 countries where women are eager to find men, and where polygamy is not just accepted but part of the cultural fabric. From the traditional customs of Sudan to the modern dynamics in the UAE, these countries offer a fascinating glimpse into the diverse ways that marriage and relationships are understood and practiced around the world. Remember, every culture is unique, and while some practices may seem unusual to us, they hold deep meaning for the people who live them every day. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the world with Globe Discoveries.